The most terrifying thing you can do to a man who thrives on your reaction isn't to scream at him, but to become a ghost while standing right in front of him. It happens the moment you stop checking the scene status, stop rehearsing your defense in the shower, and finally realize that your silence is a message he doesn't have the password to decode. I remember the suffocating weight of waiting for a text that felt like a lifeline, only to realize I was drowning in a sea of my own empathy while he watched from the shore with a smirk. But here is the shadow truth. Your absence is the only thing that will ever make him respect your presence. In this video, we'll dive into the profound, protective, and transformative insights from dark psychology, drawing from lessons I cherished from my own ascent to master the art of strategic indifference and reclaim the power he thought was his. You have been playing a game where the rules were rigged against you from the start. You thought that by being the better person, by showing him an ocean of patience, he would eventually see your value. But dark psychology always made it a point to remind us that predators don't value the gold. They value the thrill of the hunt and the submission of the prey. When you give everything, you become predictable. And in his world, predictable is synonymous with disposable. The first rule of breaking his control is understanding the diagnostic of invisible chains. Think back to those moments when you felt the frantic urge to explain yourself. The air in the room felt thin, your heart was hammering against your ribs, and your fingers hovered over the keyboard, typing and deleting, trying to find the perfect sequence of words to make him understand. You were providing him with narcissistic supply, the drug of knowing he controls your emotional climate. He wasn't listening to your words, he was feeding on your distress. I recall a conversation with the shadows where I realized that every tear I shed was a trophy on his shelf. The moment you stop the explanation is the moment you reclaim your soul. Rule number 1 is the law of emotional displacement. You must move your focus from his actions to your own internal fortress. I remember sitting in a dimly lit living room, the only light coming from the cold, blue glare of my phone. The clock on the wall was mocking me, tick, 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 as 3 hours passed since my last message. The scent of old coffee in the air felt like the smell of my own desperation. Dark psychology liked to emphasize that he isn't busy. He is training you to accept the breadcrumbs of his attention. He wants you to feel small so that his occasional hello feels like a grand prize. When you stop waiting, the dynamic shifts. If this resonates with you, if you felt that hollow ache in your chest while waiting for a ghost, write in the comments, "I am the prize, not the pursuer." The second rule is the sanctity of the unseen. In the modern era, our exposure is our greatest weakness. He tracks your stories, your likes, and your online status like a hawk. He uses these tiny digital footprints to reassure himself that you are still there, still reachable, still under his thumb. To break his control, you must become a digital enigma. Stop posting for an audience of one. When he looks for you and finds nothing, no updates, no sad quotes, no revenge photos, he begins to experience a psychological phenomenon known as fear of loss. Drawing from what I learned in Shadows, a manipulator's ego cannot survive in a vacuum. By denying him any information about your life, you force him to confront the silence. It is a deafening silence that screams your newfound worth. Rule number 3 involves refusing the bait of the disguised insult. We've all been there, the dinner party where he makes a joke about your weight, your job, or your past, all while the scent of expensive wine and the sound of polite laughter fill the air. You feel the heat rise in your neck, the sting of humiliation. Dark psychology would say that he is testing your tolerance threshold. If you react with anger, you are too sensitive. If you stay silent and hurt, you are weak. The shadow rule here is the feline indifference. You look at him with a blank, slightly bored expression, as if he just said something incredibly unoriginal and dull. You don't get angry, you get distant. You move on to a different conversation as if he hadn't spoken at all. This invalidates his attempt at dominance and leaves him feeling socially clumsy and exposed. We now reach the fourth rule, the architecture of the no. Many of us were raised to be pleasers, to feel a pang of guilt whenever we say no. He counts on this. He will ask for favors, for time, for emotional labor, knowing you will struggle to refuse. But according to timeless dark wisdom, a no without an explanation is the ultimate boundary. When he asks why you can't help him or why you aren't available, you simply say, "It doesn't work for me." No excuses for him to pick apart. No reasons for him to gaslight. I remember the first time I did this. My heart was racing, my palms were sweaty, but the look of genuine shock on his face was a victory more delicious than any apology. The fifth rule is the indifference to ghosting. Often, he will try to punish you with silence. He disappears for days, expecting you to crawl back with apologies. The shadow truth is that this is your greatest opportunity. While he thinks he is starving you of his presence, you must show him that you are feasting on your own peace. During these periods of his silence, do not send a single check-in text. Not one. When he eventually returns with a casual, "Hey," treat him with the same casualness you would a stranger at a bus stop. Your lack of relief at his return is the most brutal blow you can deal to his narcissism. If you want to stay protected and master these rules, hit subscribe now and join our circle of shadows. Rule number 6 is the mastery of the reaction gap. Between his action and your reaction, there is a space. In that space lies your power. He will try to provoke you, to trigger your insecurities, to make you scream so he can call you crazy. In psychology's own words, he is looking for a narcissistic injury. Instead, give him a void. When he expects a storm, give him a calm, sunny day. When he expects a breakdown, give him a sophisticated smile. I recall standing in a hallway once, the air cold, listening to him lie straight to my face. In the past, I would have produced receipts and evidence. This time I just nodded and said, "I see." I didn't care to prove him wrong because his truth no longer mattered to my reality. That is the moment you become untouchable. Finally, we arrive at the 7th rule, the walk-away protocol. This is the climax of our journey. There comes a day, like a bolt of lightning splitting a bruised purple sky, when you realize that no amount of shadow work will fix a broken man. You realize that your indifference isn't just a tactic, it's a state of being. I remember the day the cord finally snapped for me. It was raining, the sound of water hitting the window like 1,000 tiny drums. I looked at the man who had occupied so much of my mental space, and I realized I didn't hate him. I didn't love him. I felt nothing. He was just a person, and not a particularly interesting one. I put down the burden of trying to win, and I simply walked away. Indifference is the highest form of self-preservation. It is the withdrawal of your energy from a system that was designed to consume you. When you apply the 7 shadow rules, you aren't just surviving him, you are ascending above the game. You are no longer the ghost in his house. He is the ghost in a life you have outgrown. The pain you felt wasn't a punishment. It was the friction required to forge your new, unbreakable edge. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of dark psychology's profound wisdom. Apply these insights to your own path, subscribe for more transformative content, and like if this inspired you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What is the one reaction you are reclaiming today? I will be reading. Stay strong, stay wise, and remember, your silence is the loudest thing about you.